What's the most compelling flat Earth proof in your opinion?
For me, it's the gyroscope. Yeah, when you spin up a gyroscope, it has a property called rigidity in space. So that means if you set it spinning at 45 degrees, yeah, it will stay at 45 degrees no matter what you do with it. So if it's on a surface and you, it's at 45 degrees, and you twist the surface, it will stay at its orientation. Yeah. So it doesn't matter where it is on Earth, it doesn't matter about gravity, it doesn't matter about anything. It will stay in its orientation, rigid in space. So in the artificial horizon in a plane, it's got one of these gyroscopes to be the reference of the ground. They spin it up before they take off, it's got reference to the ground, and as they round the curvature of the Earth, the gyroscope should stay upright. And for the pilot, it should look like the artificial horizon rolls backwards, but it doesn't. It stays exactly where it was, and tells you that we're flying over a flat plane.
Lack of curvature. The defining characteristic of a ball is curvature, and if we see things that we shouldn't be able to see that should be beyond the horizon or blocked by the horizon, that's a big problem. So when we have things that like sunrise, sunset, circumnavigation, and not falling off the edge that appear to correlate to a ball, but also have explanations on a flat Earth, if we can measure ourselves that this is not a ball, well then we need to scrap the ball and start over with a new idea.
Of course, well, one proof I always point out is water. Large bodies of water, including oceans, lakes, and seas, have no convexity or curvature. So when undisturbed, large bodies of water are actually flawlessly flat. All liquids are flawlessly flat. That's how they make glass. They lay the molten glass on top of a liquid, a molten liquid, and then they let it cool. And that's why glass is so perfectly flat, is actually because water and all liquids are a natural level.
That is how we know we are in this reality, is water always laying level. And so at no point does water ever over a distance start to curve or bend or create at no height can you ever get to see a ball conforming to the exterior of the shape.
We know that when we are trying to measure curvature over a body of water, that we cannot detect any. The surface of water is always flat, and we've been able to get up to 25 miles now with lasers trying to measure the curvature of water, and it's always flat, it's always level. 70% of the Earth, they tell us, is water. So where exactly is this curvature going to be? It was that long distance sights that we could see that really got me to go, these guys might be onto something here.
For me, because I work a lot with fluid simulation software like RealFlow or X-Particle, that kind of thing, when you realize that the fluid mechanics show that the Earth is completely flat. I mean, and then if you go deeper, you're going to understand there is no real measure of any curved surface in the Earth. We see an object beyond the side, you know, the side of the supposedly distance. Right. They rise up, and because I create a lot of computer simulation based on atmospheric refraction, it's impossible an object that is completely hiding behind the eye of the viewer rise up perfectly without any distortion. That's motion. So, but the water, you know, the fluid mechanics for me is the most important thing.
Would you agree that the strongest, most compelling proof for flat Earth is the lack of curvature?
Absolutely. I mean, that's the basis of this whole argument. I mean, this whole flat versus globe thing. The bottom line is there any curvature? We can talk about everything else once we establish whether or not there's measurable curvature, and there is none. I've been out and tested over water. I've made observations from you know, airplanes and all that, and I've seen no curvature. I've measured no curvature.
The only thing that I can prove is water is always level. It can't stick to a ball. Gravity is only a theory, and also we can see farther than the 8 inches per mile squared. We can see ships that supposedly went over the horizon, pull them back in with a P900 or P1000 or any other camera, or even a telescope, I guess. So that's debunked the curvature of the Earth for me.
We see too far. That's all you got to do. We see too far. Mic drops. That's it. There's so many we see too far proofs. You know, water as well is a good one. So, but if anyone asks me that question, it's we see too far.